Welcome to Nature Calls, Conversations from the Hudson Valley. Our team's goal is to present science-based information about gardening and all things nature in New York's Hudson Valley. Hosts Jean and Tim, along with team members Teresa and Linda, are master gardener volunteers for New York's Columbia and Greene counties. So if you're interested in gardening or nature, or nuggets of information about what's happening outside your door, settle in. Enjoy the conversation. Whatever the season, we have something to say.
Hi, and welcome to Nature Calls, Conversations from the Hudson Valley. We're Tim and Jean. Our guest today is Keri-Sue Lewis from Common Hands Farm in Philmont, Columbia County. Welcome, Keri-Sue.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We're excited to have you too, Keri. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We always ask people about their background and how you get started and what your connection is to the farm.
Absolutely. Well, you said my name. I'm Keri-Sue Lewis, 35 years old. I actually grew up in Columbia County. I grew up in Germantown, so I'm very familiar with the area. And I have been running Common Hands Farm with my partner, Dan, who actually started it. And we live over in Philmont, and we have 2 small children. And it's a CSA farm. We grow over 100 different crop varieties on about 24 acres. So we're super busy over there. But yeah, I grew up in this area, and I did a lot of different things. I studied journalism, actually, and Spanish, and I worked with food a lot. My dad's a chef, so I worked in restaurants since I was about 14. So I was used to that fast-paced environment, which I kind of actually have grown to relate to farming as well. Just being on your feet a lot, and the customer service aspect, of course. And yeah, I love food, and I really love being outside. I have a deep need for like a connection with nature and just being out in the elements, except when it's like 99 degrees, of course. But so yeah, I love farming, and I believe in what we do, and we use all organic methods. We're certified naturally grown, and we go to 4 different farmers markets and sell to a lot of different restaurants, and are always trying to engage the community in new ways.
So what does that mean, certified organically, naturally grown? I think that's what you just said.
Yeah. Certified naturally grown is basically the same exact growing methods as certified organic. It's just a grassroots form of certification. So you're actually peer certified. So another farmer comes to your farm that is certified naturally grown, and they are the ones that inspect it. And the membership cost is a lot less expensive. So it was like $200 to become certified. And, you know, it is the real deal. You do need to have high standards of growing, not use any synthetic sprays or pesticides. And they do look into all that about your farm, but it is peer reviewed. So it's more of a grassroots initiative. There's about, I think, 700 farms nationwide that are now certified naturally grown. And yeah, the main difference is just the certification process.
And the bureaucracy is a lot more logical.
Yeah, and you're talking to a real person when you apply to be certified, and they're able to answer any questions you have. And then you have the direct relationship with the other farmer that comes and talks to you, and not only knows what they're talking about and knows what they're looking for, but understands what it's like to farm, and especially farm in your area, because they're usually right down the road or within, like a 20-mile radius. And it went pretty quickly because it's a little bit less of a bureaucratic experience. It went pretty quickly to become certified. And yeah, we're really happy to be certified naturally grown. We do want to become certified organic. We've been growing that way for 12 years. So we definitely could, but this year it was just more cost effective, and it aligned with our practices and values.
So I have a question, because I'm also a customer of yours and love your produce. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah. As a customer, my question is, when you say organic, that means you're not using any chemical fertilizers, right? Are you using animal manure? What do you use for fertilizer as an organic grower?
Yeah, so we will When needed, we do get organic chicken fertilizer when we need it in the field, but we also make our own compost.
Yeah.
So Dan is experienced with biodynamic compost making. So we get cow manure from other farms, and he will produce it right on the farm and add it to our soil to increase the fertility and also have less waste. We grow a lot of
Great.
vegetables, so to put them back into the soil.
Excellent.
Okay, back to the real question.
Yes.
As to quite a life path, and all your paths are leading toward this one thing. Everything you've done sort of coalesces. Now, help us understand what a CSA is.
Absolutely. So a CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the community supporting local agriculture. So a lot of farms do this nowadays, obviously not all, but it's a way of directly connecting your food to the community and cutting out the middleman, cutting out the store. But the system of it is that you sign up for it in the winter or the early spring usually. So you would join a CSA in like the slower part of the year when they really need money and investment so that they can start up the season to buy seeds, to buy fertilizers, to buy potting soil, to pay for labor. There's so many early season costs and you're not making a lot of money that time of year. So when you join the CSA, you become a member, or a shareholder is another way you could put it. And basically you are becoming an investor in the farm who's going to reap the benefits of that season. So when the vegetables or fruits, or it could even be meats, eggs, start becoming available, they go to you. So you're reserving a certain amount for you. And then you get to eat fresh food. A lot of times it was harvested hours earlier before you receive it, or maybe a day earlier. And it's healthy food, and you get to know your farmers, and you have a deeper relationship maybe than you would with somebody that you're buying something from at the grocery store. You can talk about the food that you're getting and the way it's grown. And then you're eating seasonally, which eating seasonally is pretty healthy. You're getting a wide variety of nutrients, and we grow a lot of different crops, so you're trying new things. But we do allow you to customize CSA as well, so you could potentially just get the same things over and over. But yeah, so community supported agriculture, paying the farmers directly. They're the people that are doing the hard work, and you're paying them when they need it the most, which is the beginning of the season, when they really need that investment to move forward.
And there's no particular size, right? It could be an individual farm. It could be a network of farms. It could be anything, right? They can be as small and as large as you want them to be, I assume.
That's right. Yeah. And there are like organizations around here that kind of join together, and you'll get things from several different farms. And a lot of farms just have the CSA as their own thing, or maybe they'll include like a meat option or an egg option or a cheese option or even bread from a local baker to make it more of like a complete meal that you're getting. Our farm is just our vegetables, herbs, microgreens, and we do grow some fruits. In the future, we would be interested, like Grimaldi over in Ghent, they have really amazing beef. We'd be interested in maybe like adding that to our CSA, or it can be as small or large as you want. A lot of farms just have their own stuff, whatever they're growing.
I think as a member and as a customer, one of the great things is you try new things, because you have 5 things that you can get that week, and you have already eaten so much broccoli. So you try, I think we tried like African kale and all these different things that you have. So it really kind of helps people make new choices and try different things, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Our members end up learning a lot about different types of food that they can try, and they often talk to us directly about how they can prepare it. And yeah, it's an exciting way to try new things that are grown right near you. So yeah, they might sound exotic, and the variety might be from some other country even, but they were grown right in your area with healthy soil. And yeah, I think people really love to try the new stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it's exciting.
Kohlrabi. I'm thinking, Gene, you know what I'm saying?
I love kohlrabi.
We had a huge kohlrabi.
Outer space vegetable.
Totally.
I love it.
Totally.
Actually, our employees accidentally planted like 3 times the amount of kohlrabi we told them to this year, so we had a huge kohlrabi crop.
Kohlrabi.
But yeah,
load, huh?
it was just like this random thing that happened, but they were very healthy, and yeah, we sold them all. So,
Yeah,
or they
cool.
went to the CSA.
Yeah.
And they're delicious.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you grow what, 120 crops?
Well, that's the varieties. So I would say between 100 and 150 varieties.
okay.
Like with all the different varieties of potatoes, all the different varieties of tomatoes, peppers, So like you could say tomatoes a crop, peppers a crop, but we grow so many different types. And we also have a large microgreen production in our microgreen greenhouse. So we're always trying different microgreens as well.
Are the microgreens hydroponic?
No.
But a lot of people are doing that, I know.
We don't do hydroponic. We just have trays with potting soil that we use, or peat moss, and then it's kind of, you got to work on it. It's an art in a way. You have to figure out exactly how to do it in all different types of weather. It's always changing in the greenhouse, and you don't want to overwater them or underwater them. But we have worked on that over the past few years, and we grow a lot of different microgreens. We grow pea shoots, sunflower shoots, mustard shoots.
Yummy.
Broccoli shoots, lettuce shoots.
Do you send out recipes with your...
It's funny you ask, actually. Our harvest manager this year wrote a cookbook for us, which we're in the process of publishing, I guess, like in a very low key way. And we're going to send out a PDF copy of it to all of our members. So we did actually write a cookbook, and we are in the process of getting it out there, just about our crops. She loves cooking, so I gave her kind of the task of writing up a cookbook, and she also drew the art that goes in it. So that's something
cool.
that we're going to have available to customers and CSA members like within the next month, I think.
We'll have to get you a copy of our Master Gardeners
I'll just
cookbook.
email you a PDF.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm convinced. I want to try healthy food instead of my cookies and candy. How does one sign up for, say, your CSA? Because I'm sure the system's pretty much the same.
Yeah. It's all online. I mean, people call us all the time, and they'll sign up over the phone. Sometimes they come to the farmers markets that we go to and just meet us there, and they fall in love with the idea right in person and love at first sight. And now they're our CSA member. But a lot of it's online, and just commonhandscsa.com is our website. And then the other local farms in the area like Ironwood and Letterbox, and there's a lot. They have usually online signups as well. Not all farms do, but I think a lot of them do nowadays.
I think they pretty much have to anymore. Yeah.
And then the Hudson Valley CSA Coalition, they're a great resource. They kind of have a directory of all the farms in the area and what they offer in their CSA, where their location is, and how much, I don't know if it's how much it costs, but just a lot of really important information that you might want to look into if you're trying to figure out which CSA is best for you.
And we do have those addresses in our resources, so people
good.
can look on the website.
That's awesome.
Now, I'm a pessimist at heart. I just read a book about the Dust Bowl. What happens if the producer experiences difficulty, like a hailstorm or a flood or a drought or any of the other horsemen of the apocalypse?
Right.
And somebody's already bought their CSA and suddenly there's no tomatoes.
Right, and that does happen. Like I was saying, last year we had a ton of rain. This year it's been the opposite, and it's been really hot. Both of those things can affect what you're getting out of the field in different ways. And we do grow a lot of crop varieties in case one of them tanks. So we have other things are always being planted and rotating, and we're always growing something different. So if something didn't work, if we don't have a good potato crop, we'll just move on to the next thing. But that does happen. I would say in the 12 years we've been doing this, we've never had a week where we haven't been able to offer people at least 5 wonderful crops. But it's still a gamble and a risk. Farming is high risk. When you talk about the Dust Bowl, I think about how they were over farming land, right? And it literally blew away the topsoil. And so that's one good thing about a CSA. And it's so we're getting this investment from our members in the beginning of the season to grow, and they want us to grow in healthy soil. They want us to take care of the land that we're farming on and produce healthy crops, right? Which is different than another traditional investment with maybe a bank or another type of institution that has a fixed interest rate, and that has a fixed interest rate and that expects a certain return. With the CSA member, they often actually get more than what they invest with us. But if we fall short in our return, they're not going to be banging on our door, right? So it's a way of having that initial investment at a grassroots level And I think it's one of the healthiest ways that you can rebuild soil in your area by finding a farm whose practices you believe in. And you're less likely to have a dust bowl. Not that we're very susceptible to it here in the Northeast, but that was one of the biggest environmental disasters, of the last, 100 years. I guess it was the 40s
It was in
or
the
30s. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, are most CSAs organic or striving to be? It just occurred to me. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know. I would say in this area, it appears to be that way. There is a pretty decently strong organic farming movement in this area. I would say in general, it does seem to be more of an organic farm thing. With that being said, it's really hard to grow fruit organically. I'm sure there's a lot of fruit CSAs that aren't 100% organic. I'm sure there are CSAs that aren't, but I would say the ones in this area tend to be organic. Yeah.
Okay, let me go from the pessimist to the optimist. You have a giant.
Not possible.
It can happen. There's a giant tomato crop, and your people are not going to want, or zucchini. They're not going to want 67 buckets of whatever that product is. You have excesses from time to time. Now, we've been looking at this organization called Long Table Harvest. Are you involved with them? It sounds like it's like a major gleaning operation, correct?
We are involved with them. They come every Monday and they take whatever we have left over that we had a large harvest of. Like this week, I think we gave them like 3 or 4 bins of zucchini, and we'll just give them more and more as the season goes on. And we have those big fall bountiful harvest that we don't know what to do with. We also do make value-added products with our crops. Like we grew about 3,000 tomatillo plants this year, and we're going to make a lot of salsa verde. We have a chef that makes it in the Philmont Cooperative Kitchen. It's a commercial kitchen. And then we sell it. So it gives us some year-round income that's a little bit more shelf-stable. And also, when we have excess, which we do with a lot, especially with, it feels like a lot of our nightshades, we end up having a lot of excess with, like the tomatillos, the tomatoes, the peppers, and you want to pick them all before they hit the ground. So it's like, what do you do with all of these? And we will make things with them. And Long Table Harvest is an amazing organization. Definitely, if someone is interested in food access and changing the food system right here in our local area, I would look into it. I know that they're always accepting memberships and donations, and I think they distribute thousands of pounds a week of vegetables and fruit and food to people that need it, and that's amazing.
We're stalking them for an interview.
Oh, cool.
They're fascinating. They do. And in the spring, they donate seedlings.
Yeah.
To community gardens and food pantries and things. They're phenomenal.
They're phenomenal. So. Actually, the person that does the gleaning coordinating, Sarah Grinberg. Hi, Sarah, if you hear me. She used to work for us at the farm. So she's not the manager there, but I get to see her every week, and they're all over the place.
I think is that the first shout out we've had on our podcast? I love a shout out. So CSAs, there's not a lot of, not that I am pushing for regulation or the government being involved in our business, but there's not a lot of regulation, right? And tell us about that. I mean, obviously it's something that's helpful to protect people, but what do you think about, should they be regulated? Are there protections for people? How does that work?
I'm with you. I don't think we should over-regulate anything. In my opinion, the CSA is working, and I don't want the government to try to fix it because it's not really broken, but I don't see any real reason for it to be regulated in any way. I actually can't imagine what that would really look like. Right now, as it is, I do have to have people kind of like agree to, I would call it almost a waiver, that they're investing in the farm for the season, good or bad. Once the season starts, they're in it with us.
It's setting expectations, right?
So I guess there could be some type of protection in that way for the consumer and the farm. But
it's not like there are unscrupulous farmers taking your money and then not giving you the vegetables.
Yeah, that
right?
would be something that would be an issue. I've never heard of that happening.
Right.
Because I think a lot of the people that sign up for a CSA do a little bit of research and meet the people in person and have a direct relationship that usually feels pretty safe.
And again, if you're a member, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get that Cherokee purple tomato on August 5th, right? I mean, you're going to take what is available from the farm, right?
And I specifically say that to our crew, but I'm like, we're not Walmart, we're not ShopRite, We can't make things grow. Like, we do as much as we can, but we also, nature is a key player in what we're doing. So we can't just pull things out of nowhere.
But your members do. I mean, I know we lobby for red onions all the time. That's our thing.
Yeah.
But your members can ask you to grow certain things, right? And there's you take a lot of input from people, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And also chefs as well. Sometimes a chef will say, I really want broccoli shoots all season. We'll say, okay, it's a $50 deposit for the seeds and we're with you, or whatever.
Yeah.
We try to grow directly for people as much as possible,
That's
much
very
as
cool.
possible. And I would say, there's the risk that, they might not get exactly what they wanted. But I think they also learn a lot, and they end up trying new things when they're not getting the exact thing that they had wanted to eat. They end up trying something new, and, that's what they signed up for. And
So
a
you
lot of
mean,
people like that.
As Americans, we don't get exactly what we want when we want it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's hard.
maybe we
It's
have to
hard.
take what's there. Wow.
It's hard to accept
What a concept,
it sometimes. Yeah.
So you do magic, you're educational, and you're healthy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the
That
definition.
seems like a great way to end this.
And it's fun, and it's very
And fun.
fun.
Yeah.
You
I'll
get
take
to
your word
see
for that.
you
I've
get
been a
to see your farmer. Yeah, well, farming is fun. It's really hard. It's a range of emotions. It's an emotional, physical, mental experience, but we try to have fun.
And on the other side, I think when you're a member, it's great to come in and see what is there this week when you come to the farmer's market. It's kind of exciting, right? What am I going to be eating this week, right?
And you were a member, and when it rains, you're like, yeah, my farmers are getting rain right now.
That's
To have that direct connection to a farm and to your food, I think you learn a lot. Yeah, you learn a lot.
I think we've learned all we can absorb for the moment.
Okay.
Keri, thank you. We will be asking you back again.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's great to have you, Keri.
We're always trying new stuff, so I'll reach out to you when we have something new.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
It was really nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
That concludes another episode of Nature Calls, Conversations from the Hudson Valley. We would like to thank Sandra Linnell and Devin Connolly from Cornell Cooperative Extension of Columbia and Greene Counties for production support. And a special thank you to our listeners for joining us on this episode of Nature Calls, Conversations from the Hudson Valley. You can find links to any of the topics mentioned in this episode at our website at ccecolumbiagreen.org. Comments and suggestions for future topics may be directed to us at columbiagreenmgb@cornell.edu or on the CCE Master Gardener Volunteers of Columbia and Greene Counties Facebook page. For more information about Cornell Cooperative Extension of Columbia and Greene Counties, visit our website at ccecolumbiagreen.org or visit us in Hudson or in Acre. Cornell Cooperative Extension provides equal programming and employment opportunities